I'm gonna put my just. It is so hard for me, you guys. I just want to make this video. This is a subject I don't really talk about very often. I've mentioned it a few times before. I've definitely mentioned it, but I don't talk about it much. But I'm just like, at this point, whatever. Why not talk about it? So, if any of you who are newer to my channel, or you don't really know much about me, or you haven't watched a lot of my videos, I am a neurodivergent individual. I'm neurodivergent, and in case anyone doesn't know what neurodivergent means, it basically is just another way of saying that I have autism. I'm autistic. And I just really feel, and I felt this way my whole life, but it's really hitting me harder now that I'm 28 years old. Like, you know, I'm an adult at this point. Yet I can't live like an adult. It just feels like so debilitating. It just feels like, I feel like being neurodivergent and being introverted, I just feel like I'm put into a world that was not designed for me. And I don't know how to function. I don't know how to, like, do stuff. I mean, I know how to do certain things, but my abilities are extremely limited. My capacities are very limited. What takes person one or two steps to do, it'll take me like 3 or 4 steps to do. Because my brain's wired differently. It just is. I didn't choose this, but this is how I was born. This is how my brain is wired. I don't know why, but all I can say is that being a neurodivergent person in this world is extremely challenging for a lot of very obvious reasons. There's the social aspect. I'm not really good socially with a lot of people. I have really bad social anxiety. I don't connect well socially with most people. You know, I have sensory issues. That's another big part of being neurodivergent, is you have sensory problems. So certain bright lights or loud noises, or, you know, like the way a piece of clothing feels or smells, like, we're being neurodivergent, we're very sensitive to certain sensory stimulus. And so there's certain things that they're just too stimulating, and they stress us out. Like, if we go into an environment, like, I've always been this way, like going into a really busy, like, mall or shopping area, and there's just a bunch of people and it's loud, and, you know, it's just, I get so stressed out. Like, I get, like, and it's worse for like a prolonged period. Like, if I have to be in that like, you know, when I put into those situations, all I want to do is I want to flee. Like, my fight or flight takes over. I just want to flee. I want to get away from what's stressing me out and try to calm myself down. And you know, but what other people see when I do that is, oh, well, he's a weirdo, or he's antisocial, he's, you know, whatever. You know, people, like, they see these certain things, but I'm just here trying to explain to you what's going on in my mind. I'm getting overwhelmed in this situation. I'm getting overstimulated. It's stressing me out. My heart rate is going up. My heart is beating really fast. I get tight. All my muscles get tightened up. And it just feels, especially, like, I just feel like I know there's resources, but the thing that I struggle with is, I feel like, because I'm not to the level of certain, you know, and again, I'm not trying to, like, make this about levels of the spectrum or being neurodivergent, but, you know, I feel like sometimes a lot of people, they think I'm neurotypical. Like, they think I'm neurotypical because I'm not, maybe I don't display as much of the obvious signs of being neurodivergent, but I promise you guys, if you are around me for extended periods of time, you will pick up on certain things. You'll pick up on my certain tics. I play with my, one thing I do all the time is where is it? I play with like my little broken hairbands. Like I like twiddle them around like this. I like twiddle them like, sometimes when I'm around other people and I don't want them to see me twiddling with it, I'll twiddle it around in my pocket, and it soothes me. It just, I don't know how to explain it, but it soothes me. And I also try to bring headphones. So like if you see me wearing these, like if I can't wear these for whatever reason, and I know I'm going to be in a loud environment, I bring earplugs, because one of my biggest things is loud noises. I'm very sensitive to loud noises, and like especially loud motor noises. They overstimulate me. But it just feels like this world is like, it's designed for extroverts and it's designed for neurotypicals. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of consideration that not everybody is neurotypical, not everybody's extroverted. And, you know, the people like me who are neurodivergent, we just often feel excluded. We feel like, okay, there's not really much effort made to try to do things to make life a little easier for us. And this is not me in any way or shape or form just saying that everything in my life should be easy, but I do feel like certain things can be done to help me maneuver or navigate things easier because I am neurodivergent. And, you know, it's not the best analogy, but it kind of works. But imagine, like, you know, the alligators, you know how you see alligators, and most alligators, you know, how they have the normal kind of dark top, they have like greens, blacks, you know, just darker pigments. Well, there's some alligators that are born with albinism. You know, being an albino, that means that their body does not produce any melanin. Little to no melanin is produced. So because of that, they are extremely light colored. They're usually white. They have like red, pinkish eyes. And, you know, what happens to a lot of baby alligators? They can't blend in as well as the normal colored alligators. They get picked off by predators. They get, you know, eaten. They get spotted. They can't camouflage and blend in. And I kind of view being neurodivergent, I kind of view it in a similar light, because in this society, we can't necessarily blend in and just, you know, beat to the rhythm that everybody else is going. And it's just, it leads to us feeling isolated and alone. It leads us to, you know, in some cases it can lead us to like self-harming behaviors, you know, bullied. You know, I've already mentioned on here that I've been bullied a lot in my life, a lot, just because of my, you know, autism. And it's just, it's kind of like being an albino alligator in a world that's designed for the regular alligators. And I mean, there's probably other analogies I can use, but that's just the easiest one that I could think of on the top of my head right now. And I mean, some albino alligators, they can make it to their adulthood, but they usually need more care. They need to be in facilities. They need a little extra help and care to get them to that point. And I would say this was no different for me in my own personal life. You know, I've needed a lot of help that maybe a neurotypical person wouldn't have needed, but because I'm neurodivergent, I needed the extra help. But even then, it just feels like now, it's just, and if you think about it, like, you know, when you go to get a job, because obviously this has been the biggest thing for me lately, it's the whole job thing. They basically want everybody to be extroverted and just be able to socialize really good. And if you're not socializing really good, or if you come across as awkward or shy or whatever, like, you get looked down on, you get discredited, you get, oh well, he's he's standoffish or whatever, he's not. And it's like, this is just who I am. I cannot help it. I can't help it. It has nothing to do with my work character. It has nothing to do with how I am as a worker. I mean, I like to think that most of the places that I have been employed at, they did like me as a worker. But you know what? That's because they actually gave me a chance. They didn't just like, oh, well, he seems weird, he seems a little different, maybe we don't hire him. That's how it feels trying to get neurodivergent people in the workforce, because of our extra needs, or our differences from our neurotypical peers. And it just leads me to feel really alone sometimes. I've told my parents this several times. I told them again last night, but I told them I just feel like I'm placed somewhere where I do not belong because of my neurodivergence and my introversion. I just feel like the albino alligator, the baby albino alligator. I just get picked off because simply I'm different. I'm not like everybody else. I can't conform, and I can't do things like everybody else, so I get picked off. And it just gets really hard to deal with, guys. It just gets hard. This is what I deal with constantly. And it's exhausting. It's so exhausting dealing with this. Because I want to do good things. I want to have like good things. I want to accomplish things in my life. I want to make progress. I don't want to let this. I'm not trying to let my disability. I'm trying not to be like, oh, well, I have a disability, so I'm just not going to, because that's what I struggle with. I struggle with, am I ever going to have a normal life? And I guess the answer to that is no, I'm never going to have a normal life because of this. And, what everybody else is doing does not work for me. But yet I feel constant shame. I feel constant guilt. Whether people say it or not, I always feel like this perception that people are just like, oh, well, that Austin kid, he's so weird. And I don't really ever say my real name on here often, but my name is Austin. My legal name is Austin, in case anyone's wondering. But I'm just like, that Austin kid is weird. He's strange. He's standoffish. He's, whatever. It's like, I'm a really great person once you take the time to get to know me. I mean, I'm different. I'll admit that I'm different. I feel like I describe myself, I'm like an acquired taste. Not everybody is going to, not everyone's going to get me, and that's okay, but it does make it really hard sometimes forming connections with people. And just, because people, a lot of times I feel like in my experience, because I've been on this earth for 28 years now, I feel like people, when they first meet me, their thoughts are always, oh, he's standoffish, he seems cold, and I understand how I can come across these ways to some people, but that is just me. I'm in a new situation. I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like it's an opportunity. Like, I don't know people's intentions. I don't know if they're gonna be good or nice. I don't know if they're gonna be a safe person for me or not. And so I guess it can kind of lead to me kind of appearing standoffish. But I'm really not that way. But some people, they might think I'm more normal at first or whatever. And then the longer they're around me, then they pick up on certain things and they start noticing my differences. And they're just like, they're either there's someone who will be okay with it and accept me for who I am. Or they're just like, oh, well, you're kind of weird. I don't really want to do anything with you. And it's really hurtful. It's just really hurtful, because it's like, in life we're all made differently. And but being neurodivergent, it just leads me to feeling even more different. And that the only other people that would really understand are other neurodivergent people. And so my dad he's been telling me for a long time. He has a friend through church that meets with a group of neurodivergent adults, and he has, I will admit, he has been trying to get me to go to those meetings, and I just haven't. I think my biggest inhibitor has just been my anxiety and my fear. Like, every time I'm going to meet new people, you guys, I get so much anxiety. I'm like, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to whatever? Which I guess, I need to get over that, because people are going to judge no matter what. But it's just all the what ifs and like the fears. They paralyze me to a point where it's paralyzing, to where there's several times in my life I could have been a part of something decent, but because of my fear, my anxiety, I didn't. And I'm just to the point now where I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to have to give this group a try, because, I don't know, maybe it's just going to be better for me. Maybe it'll be helpful to me to be around people who are also neurodivergent and who understand the struggles of being neurodivergent, and maybe feeling like I can actually blend in somewhere, because I feel like I can't blend in anywhere else. And I don't know if they have any kind of connections, or if they can help me with anything relating to the job field. I don't know. But I'm like, at this point, I have to give it a try. I have to, because, and yes, it terrifies me. It does terrify me. It's like, I hate being the new person to a group. I know that so you have to do it sometimes to get established with people and build connections. You always have to start off being new and strangers, but I guess I'm trying to learn how to get over that, and just be like, it's going to be really uncomfortable, but, maybe eventually it'll lead to something good for me. Because, everything I've been doing lately, it's like I've been isolating myself. I've been a hermit. I haven't wanted to interact with anyone. And again, like, people say, oh, you can meet people at school. I don't really see how I can meet or make friendships at school, because, one, I'm there to learn. Everyone else is there to learn. They're trying to do their classes, get their grades, get into their program. Like, people aren't, I don't understand. I feel like unless you like live on campus and you're like part of like a frat, I don't really feel like it's possible to, make any meaningful connections or friendships in college, because everybody's just trying to work towards a goal. They're trying to work towards a certification, or whatever, bachelor's or whatever it is, whatever program they're trying to get through to get something, to then get a job. And it's just like, I don't know. If anyone watches this video, first of all, but if anyone who watches this video knows of anything or any resources that are helpful for adult neurodivergent people, I'm down for any suggestions or offers, because I have to make a change, because otherwise this is going to kill me. This is just going to kill me. And I'm not going to get anywhere, and I'm going to continue feeling alone and isolated, and like, well, what's the point? There's so many times I just am like, why wasn't I born neurotypical? Why couldn't I have just been a neurotypical person? Why do I have to be neurodivergent? But I mean, I can't do anything about it at this point. It's who I am. I can't change it. I can't do anything about it. So I have to just figure out, how do I how do I figure out how to adapt and just be like, well, yeah, this is my reality. My reality is not going to look like everybody else's reality. But, it just sometimes, just some people can just be so mean and so judgmental and just so uneducated, and just, they make all kinds of comments about people who have any kind of disability, whatever type of disability it is. There's many different types of disabilities, but I don't know. I just feel like I feel like our world our world has come a long way dealing with mental health and dealing with, neurological disabilities, but I just still feel like there's still a lot of room for improvement, because I just still feel like there's a major lack of tools and resources for people with disabilities, or people who are like neurodivergent like myself. But anyways, I know this was a really long video. I might break it off into 2 parts. I might just break it off into 2 parts, but I just feel like I had a lot to say, and this is a very heavy topic, and it is my reality, and it's a reality for others out there. I've come across some other YouTubers who are neurodivergent, and when I watch their videos, it just, like, I understand everything they're saying. Like, I understand, and I feel like less alone when I watch that. So if anything I hope to get out of this video, sharing this video on my channel, is I just hope that it can just reach somebody, and that they can just know, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to not be like everybody else, and that there are other people who are like you and that can relate to you and can resonate with your journey and your struggles. And because I know how it feels to feel alone, I just do. But anyways, I'm gonna end it there. It was nice talking to you. Bye.